Okay, it works. Great. So we got to the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix, the 1-3 profile. Let's take a look at the 1-3. Think about what it is to be a Bosnian female who's carrying the baby that is the result of a rape by conquering troops. And you can have one aspect of the 1-3 here, and that one aspect of the 1-3 on the other side, the raper or the rapee, or whoever you want to look at it. Again, you have to understand something about the preemptive strike. We can now call this the Bush line. Well, it's true. The guy has created a preemptive policy, which is very spooky because you really don't know if the other people deserve it or, in this case, want it. This is the preemptive strike. And one of the things about the 1-3 is that, again, lower trigrams are never well equipped to deal with anything special. Lower trigram sexuality is a hit or miss business. There's a lot of banging around. There's a lot of smoothness and grace in all of that. And that again, lower trigrams are never well equipped to deal with anything social. Lower trigram sexuality is a hit or miss business. There is a lot of banging around. There's not a lot of smoothness and grace in all of that. Lower trigrams. So when you're dealing with a sleeping phoenix 1-3, you know that they're very much aware of the fact that they're not aware of what they need to be. It's part of the sleeping phoenix process and part of the 1-3 and the seriousness. This is one of the things that needs to be discussed about the 1-3 is how serious 1-3 can be. It's not even serious because serious is not so much mental attitude, it's heaviness. It's like you make the foundation out of a concrete and you make the roof out of tiles. If you weigh the foundation in comparison to the roof, you would see how heavy the damn foundation is. It's heavy. It better be heavy, otherwise the house would blow away in the first wind. It's heavy and sturdy. So when you're looking at a lower trigram profile, you have to understand it's a heavy. 1-3s, whether male or female, like to be on top. Their partner is going sound of lack of breath. Never mind. That's a heavy joke. 1-3s are heavy. They just are. So when you're dealing with a preemptive strike, what you're dealing with is an authoritarian approach that says, look, I don't know if you don't particularly like me, but we're going to have a baby now. It's not about, I don't care about how you feel. All I want is a child. Obviously, because of the third line underneath, that having a child is not enough, as we well know that so many children unfortunately have parents that don't hang around long enough to nurture them to any kind of psychological stability, that we all have these broken family lines. I know, I had one myself, and I know the consequences of having a broken family. And you have to see that the 1-3 preemptive, the caveman, cavewoman at work, the person that simply penetrates your hour and grabs it because they smell the possibility of fertility, they're obviously going to make mistakes, but they're also going to learn what we call techniques. These are the kind of people that will experiment with an opening line. Haven't I met you before? This is a 1-3 preemptive strike. The 1-4. If your father is a construction worker and the whistles of anything that walks by and you're a 1-3 boy, you're going to whistle at anything that walks by. The way in which your father, or if you're a woman, if you're a girl growing up and you're watching your mother, the way in which your mother deals with her sexuality, if you're a 1-4, this is the way that you're going to present your sexuality and the way in which you're going to go after the other. Remember that in the low mundane level, and please let's allow that's for the not self, the 55 gate is a hustle gate. It's hustling, and remember, within the context of its cross, it's asleep. It doesn't know how mutative it is. It doesn't understand to own potential. It's simply very, very busy in the now, hustling sexuality, whether it likes it or not. Whether it wants it, whether it needs it, knows it, cares about it, it's just a mechanic, a sexual mechanic, sacral mechanic. The sacral center is about availability, sexually availability. The drive is in the solar plex center, but the availability and all the gates of the sacral center, there's a basic polarity that you can see. The 34 says, I'm never available, I'm busy. And the 59 says, I'm always available. So think about the person, the sleeping phoenix. They're very, very busy, which constantly orderly would mean that they have no time whatsoever for chasing after. But this objective being there, that becomes their busyness all the time looking for it. And remember, it's not looking for what we see in the archetype of having a child that makes a difference. It's looking for any relationships that's going to have a byproduct more children. As a byproduct more children. It's like going into partnership with somebody in a business in order to hire people. You hate your partner, but you love your employees. It's the same structure. You hate your partner and you love your kids. So you learn to respect your partner because you both love your kids. And that way you can stay together because that's a tribal way. And that maybe at some point, if you're lucky as a sleeping phoenix, you wake up. But the 1-4 again, this is end of this place. You have to see if you don't have a parent that understand how powerful they are for you as an architect, then you're going to have a very distorted process. And remember, when you try to change the mind of the 1-4, remember what we saw in the acting of the 1-4, the lying of the 4, the role playing, that's potential. It's the 4. It's devastating for them to discover in life that what they thought was correct, a foundation that they could really deliver, is faulty. It's devastating. In most cases, even when confronted with it, they will lie to themselves. They will don a mask, as they will try to live out that archetype that nurtured them in the first place. So one has to be careful with the upbringing of 1-4s. Okay, so be careful with the 1-4s, guys.